I'm Ebony LaDelle from Epic Reads.
And I'm Preiss from Belletrist.
And we are so excited to be coming together to talk to authors that we love who are in the YA space.
That's young adult.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
And we're extremely excited to present to you this new show that we have where we're discussing all sorts of themes.
So this month, our theme is what it means to be sex positive. And we have the amazing Elizabeth Acevedo, who is the author of The Poet X. And she's going to talk to us about her main character, Xiomara, who is really tired of being catcalled, and she kind of uses poetry to really fight back.
There's so many cool themes in this book, and we really hope you guys got to read it. And if you didn't read it yet, read it after you watch this entire video.
I promise you. Hi, everyone. We are here with Elizabeth Acevedo, who is the author of The Poet X, a brilliant book. Jinx. And we are going to talk to her, but first I want to read a quote from the book that I think really fits into this month's theme. So you said, when your body takes up more room than your voice, you are always a target of well-aimed rumors, which is why I let my knuckles talk for me. I force my skin just as thick as I am. This month's theme is what it means to be sex positive, and as a woman, how hard it is. You know, just like walking down the street, just being yourself, being in your own skin. Right. It's so difficult. And I just had a conversation with someone close to me who was saying that she wears sweats and big t-shirts and big pants because she just doesn't want to draw attention to herself. And it's someone near and dear to me, and it made me really sad, you know? And so I just thought of this quote because I love Xiomara. I love that she struggles a lot with wanting to have ownership over her body, but also not having the choice to decide how men view her, how they stare, how they act, what's too much, what's not enough. So what made you decide to write that story?
I think I've thought a lot about how to bring the idea of catcalling, of this culture, of rape culture, right? Because that's what it is, like if we were to name it, into literature. And I had worked with different poems. I've always been talking back against this idea of if your community, if your neighborhood, if your city should be a place where you feel like you belong, what does it mean when a certain sect automatically makes you feel like you are hyper visible, like you are a target, right? Because oftentimes I remember being so young, maybe 12, 13, the first time that dudes started hollering at me, and it wasn't just one dude, right? It would be like a guy with a bunch of folks around him, and the moment that you keep walking or don't respond how they want you to respond, it becomes this aggressive attack on you. Right? Like I was cute a second ago, and now you have a litany of things that you want to call me. And I think for me, it was kind of like, all right, well, maybe this was just when I was growing up. And then I was an educator working with young women and would hear these stories of what they would deal with every day. And it made me realize, oh, this doesn't end. Like those men who did that to me then taught their sons, then taught their little brothers. Then, you know, like it doesn't stop. And so how much shame do we learn about, did I call that attention? Did I make you say that? Like, should I wear sweats? And then you get hollered at in sweats, and you're like, okay, it's not what I'm wearing. But that there's duality there, right? That Xiomara also feels like there's a little part of her that sees that attention and thinks, oh, what if I did like that? What does it mean to like that attention that we're taught? Right? I remember getting like hit on the train and having this really negative, explosive experience with this guy who made a very like vulgar comment about my body on the train, and mentioning it to my parents later, and my parents kind of be like, oh, but he just thought you were attractive. Right? So being taught, oh wait, so should I crave that? Like, should I want that? Like, all right, I thought I looked a mess, but maybe I am cute. Maybe you're right, stranger on the corner. And so I think it was wanting to bring all of that complexity to the conversation.
I think what's so interesting too is that it becomes like, I'm gay now, right? But like when I was growing up, I still thought that walking down the street, getting some attention from somebody that I didn't even want to sleep with, like the whole gender I wasn't interested in, that it was still validating, which is how deeply ingrained it is in women, like with women's bodies, regardless of like your sexuality, that if you don't like, oh, like I kind of like when people are catcalling me on the street, or if like, you know, a group of guys is, you know, says something about my boobs or something, and I'm like, I don't even want to sleep with them. So that it's like the fact that it's, especially, and I was thinking of this when you were talking, like, especially when you live in a city where public space is shared, and on trains, especially when you're like on top of people, that it not only is it prevalent, but it's like it's your it's daily life, and so to almost like as you were saying, like 10, 11, 12, to know that that's just what you're going to deal with, regardless of who you want to end up marrying or sleeping with. It's really crazy. Yeah, and the book really made me think a lot about that, where I was like, actually, I was like primed for it. I wasn't like, no, I'm not interested in them, so it doesn't matter. You know,
you're programmed.
Yeah.
You're like programmed young to believe that this is normal.
Right.
And the day you don't get catcalled,
exactly.
Oh, maybe I wasn't. Maybe this outfit isn't cute.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm not cute.
Like
how many times I would walk with my best friend out, and if she got the attention and I didn't, it was, there's something wrong with me. And we I think internalize that and that idea of competition, but at the same time would feel so under a microscope in a way I never wanted. Right? Like craved it, but then also was just like, oh wait, but I actually don't want you to see me. Because whatever is gonna come from this, I know is not good. It's not gonna make me feel good ultimately. And it's, what is that push and pull, and what happens when you grow up with that?
And also, I think one of the interesting things for me was growing up, like, being taught how to respond. You know what I mean? So, for me, it was like, you know, if someone says something to you, make sure you say something back. Because I had heard horror stories.
Smile, say thank you.
Exactly. And so this whole concept, well, why won't you smile? Or, you know what I mean? Like, all these comments that you get, it was a direct response to what girls were learning growing up, you know what I mean? And when a guy felt like they didn't even get that, you know what I mean? That presented another set of problems, which is so interesting. So let's talk about like being taught in relationships, and the relationship between Xiomara and her mother is so complex.
That's a good word.
Yeah, her mother sometimes blames her for the attention she gets and tries to tell her to cover up or be invincible in a lot of ways. And I saw a lot of moms doing this growing up, where it was just like for religious reasons, or, you know what I mean, because a girl was more voluptuous than others, or whatever. You know, they felt like, oh, you're the reason why this is happening. So did you draw inspiration from girls that you knew growing up as well?
I definitely think there was this idea that what happened outside was your fault if you didn't cover yourself, or if you didn't present in a certain way, like you called that onto you. And there was dissonance there, right? Because I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm wearing sweats or a skirt, my hair is up or down. So I know it's not actually me.
Exactly.
It's this thing happening out there, and I would see it in my neighborhood. I would see it with young women, and I would see it with our mothers, who I think didn't know how to protect us.
Exactly.
And particularly when you're coming from another country where, you know, my mother didn't grow up in the city, right? She grew up very rural. So everybody knew everybody. So this kind of thing didn't happen in this way. And so for her, it's like you have this exposure to all of these folks I don't know. And if you don't present in a certain way, then what they say or do might be on you, right? And I think it was her attempt to protect me and not know how. I can't control them, right? I can't fix that, but how do I ensure you're defended? And it's this toxic notion, but I empathize with her wanting to protect, right? With so many mothers who are like, how do I keep you safe when I can only, you know, talk to you? I don't know that boy's mother.
Right.
And it's this strange moment of, I get it, but also it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You know, and having to learn to say that to other young women, like, it is not your fault. Whatever they do, like, they made a choice on how to treat you, and it wasn't based on what you were wearing or how you walked down the street.
Yeah. And I feel like right now in the country, like, we're just starting to get to the point where it's like, no, you have to train boys to be feminists, you know? But, like, for us growing up, that wasn't a thing. And I feel like even now, like, boys are still having to learn that.
And it harms all of us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? If you're gender non-conforming, if you're non-binary, if you're a man, if you're a woman, like, it harms all of us. Like, there's so many young men who I know are good young men.
Yeah.
And even they lean into what they've been taught.
Exactly.
And they don't understand,
Yeah.
like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because they've been taught, like, this is, if you're not aggressive, if you don't go for it, like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's this kind of, like, undoing so many norms.
But I think it is really interesting, though, thinking about mothers and fathers with daughters versus mothers and fathers with sons, which is there's this preconceived notion that girls will be preyed upon and boys will just do something wrong.
Right.
And I think that people have children and they just think, and they just are programmed that way, right? Where it's like, you know, so it's always called to my attention, like when girls go to open their door, they look back. When boys go to open their door, they walk inside the building. You know what I mean? And so, like, mothers put girls on lockdown, and, like, they can put boys on lockdown, but, like, only if they do something crazy to a girl.
Yeah.
You know, or are abusing drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. Like, I just think parents worry more for daughters, and then what does that say about our culture? If you know, if you just have to worry more.
And the limitations that girls get because of, you know, because of protection.
Right.
Like, oh, my brother gets to stay out until 2 a.m. because he's a boy. You know what I mean? But I have to be in by 11.
Her mother really meant well, but also was somewhat stunted herself, like in terms of not being evolved, or just in, like, the only way she knew how to control her feelings was to be so controlling. Which I would imagine is so hard for parents.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think when you're older, when you're from a different place, when you're generationally different, and you're like, this child is a miracle, and there's a way I want to mold them and protect them, and how much of that is just letting them go. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I think so much of what I saw was we are afraid of this country. We are afraid of the values this country has. And so how do I ensure that just because I am not in the place where I'm from, that my children don't lose the things I want them to have? And so often it's about, like, grabbing, I think for those who are first gen, it's like grabbing your parent by the hand and, like, what if that doesn't serve us? Like, what if you have to let some of those things go and move in a different direction in order for us to be able to, like, grow? Like you were saying, it's like stunted growth. Like, what about who you are now that you're here? What values do you keep? What traditions do you keep? And what do you have to, like, release because it's not healthy? And some of those norms, I think, especially when you're coming from a different place, the Dominican Republic is one of the most Catholic countries in the world. And so the church has a lot of say in how people live their everyday lives, every single thing, right? And so it's like, okay, but what if what if we contemplated different notions of walking through the world?
Exactly.
So I want to see Amara the question, and I loved what you were saying. I think that's why her twin was a boy. And like, in the back of my mind, there was this little bit of, they are twins, they are raised in the same household, they're the same age in every facet, but look at how he's given a little more leeway with, like, girls who he doesn't want to sleep with.
Exactly.
And like, just that push and pull to really demonstrate her point, right? Her frustration.
So basically, we wanted you to talk a little bit about, like, the impression that parents can have on their kids and gender norms, whether it's Xiomara or with her body, or Xiomara's brother coming out, or Aman loving the Winter Olympics. I think you know, sort of play with gender stereotypes really well in the book without it being like, I'm talking about gender stereotypes. You know, I think something that you get at that's really interesting is, like, sometimes we can't, like, why is it that a lot of time we can't be exactly the thing that we want to be? So I don't know if you could talk a little bit more about that, or how you sort of decided, like, for example, that Twin was gay, or you know, that Aman would be into this thing that not only was countercultural for him at being from Trinidad, but like that was kind of soft as well, like ice skating and
he was told that's soft. And I think I grew up listening to a lot of men say that to one another. That's soft. And it's an insult. Right? You can't be soft, and it's sad. Right? The softness that we don't allow one another. Even Xiomara has to be tough in some ways, right? And I was really thinking about, similar to what we were just saying, like, what are the things that we learn? What is passed on to us that perhaps, especially young people, know in their guts, like, no, Like, I don't want to take that in. I don't want to believe that, but don't have a notion of anything different.
Exactly.
Right? Like, Twin knows that he should be able to love who he wants to love. He is a super educated, really smart, really empathetic, sensitive guy. But he also knows, like, my family will think this is wrong, and so I have to hide it.
And I also love that, like, you talk about that because he didn't come out to his sister immediately. And, that, like, the twin dynamic, like, I have 4 sets of twins in my family. So my grandmother had 4 sets of twins. So that dynamic is just critical. It's crucial. It's something that you can't, you know what I mean, replicate with, like, siblings in a way because they have that closeness and that bond. So that was very interesting in the fact that, like, culturally, like, he was so afraid of coming out that he couldn't even tell the person that he shared the same womb with. You know what I mean?
And because also, like, I think Xiomara had taken in some of those things. And we see it in that moment where what he needs her to say and do, she doesn't know how. And she thinks it's because she wants to protect him. Yeah. But it's because she has to learn, like, oh, maybe I've taken on some of the beliefs, right? And has to, I'm challenging this in my own mother, but what about what I've accepted, right? And I was really interested in looking at the duality of these characters, right? That none of us are the perfect ally, the perfect woman, the perfect parent, that we are so complicated. And what does it mean to have to let go and unlearn those things in order to be the best sibling or daughter? You know what I'm saying? And,
or even with Iman, how, like, I was just talking to somebody about this today, when Xiomara somebody grabbed her butt or something, you know, and he kind of just sat there, like, you know what I mean, and didn't do anything, and he wasn't an ally in that moment. It doesn't mean that he didn't care about her, but he, you know what I mean, in some ways he was taught to just, like,
I get a lot of pushback for that scene.
That he didn't stand up for her?
Well, because it was kind of like, why is she so mean to him afterwards? I'm like, do you know what happened? Like, why does she freaking, like, that could have been a conversation. Like, what made you think this girl learned how to have, you know, conflict resolutions? But also, like, in this moment, what she needed was someone to say on her behalf, like, you cannot touch someone's body just because you think you can, and this person, like, who is her partner at the time, right? And
we talk about that, like, how being silent is being complicit. You know what I mean? That was a perfect example of that.
Right.
But I do think it's important to at least, like, and I always think about this now, like, having sympathy for your younger self, where you're like, why didn't I say anything?
Oh, for
why was I being such a little bitch about it? You know what I mean? Like, and I think that as people, like, I was actually talking to someone about this morning, like, we go through these phases of, like, being able to be more and more ourselves, hopefully. Right. But we can't blame, I mean, I don't think we can, like, flat out blame teenagers for doing dumb shit. You know what? And I thought your characters really spoke to that, where it's like, you know, just because Twin is gay, it doesn't mean he's going to be, like, compassionate and the most compassionate person and, like, you know, the most this and the you know, I think that's also a very black and white way of thinking.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, oh, just because this person's, like, woke in one way, they're going to be woke in another way. Or, like, I still think it's so hard to be a champion. Like, it's so hard to be.
I love that you said your younger self, because I'm like, man, on Sunday, I had a moment where I was like, I should have said something, and I was gobsmacked, and, like, in the moment didn't know what to say, and it wasn't even. It wasn't even allyship. It was literally defending myself.
Exactly.
That how often is it? Every single day we have to make these decisions of, like, what are the battles I'm choosing to fight, and, like, how are the ways that I'm going to stand up for myself and for other people and, like, show up, and that you don't win every day.
Exactly.
And if you're someone who's a fighter all the time, you can also miss things.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that, I think, is...
Or, like, trying to figure out, like, what is the stance that you're going to take that's going to make the most impact. You know what I mean? Like, choosing to, like, pull back on a day when you're just like, I really don't want to. I really want to say something. Right. But you know that you can have a greater impact if you wait. Yeah.
And I think even when we tell young people to speak up or take up space, adults can be very particular about how they want that to look, right? I'm you know, lucky enough to have come up through a lot of different kinds of nonprofit organizations that had to do with youth empowerment. I've worked in, like, youth empowerment work, and I've seen the way that you'll want to curtail a young poet or a young artist, and like, yeah, we want you at this event or this fundraiser, but do this, do this safe thing, say this safe thing, and it's like, well, no, that's literally not the point, right? Like, if they have the stage, if they're allowed to speak, then whatever they say, they've said, and if there are consequences to that, then fine, right? That when I write this book and young people send me letters or tell me what poems they've written or whatever the case may be, it's not so a teacher could then say like, write like this, or write in this way, or like believe this about your body. Like, it's about whatever you want to do and say with your heart, or your about you has to be okay. Like, I'm not just handing you the microphone so you could say what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of the way. I just think so often adults, I'm like, get out. We mess things up. Like, get out the way and just like let them take the stage.
Liz is, she don't want to talk about it like this, but she's an award-winning slam poet, okay? So she's got some clout. Talk about, like, what slam poetry is to you, and, like, what it's done for you, and how it kind of, like, helped you become, a published writer.
Sure. I don't necessarily use the term slam poet. Okay. A lot of folks say this and call me this. I think that poetry slam is a game. Right? You show up to a poetry slam and you say a poem. Oftentimes that you've memorized. Right? But it's like the arena. And I've participated in poetry slams since I was 14. And it was one of the first times that I really had to own my own words and my body, and in front of strangers, like, all right, here's what and then get a score. Right? So this idea that like what you have to say will or won't have a certain resonance, and what does that mean? And I performed for years, both competitively and non. And there was something about what I learned growing up in that space. One, about just how talented other people were. Like, there's teenagers who I'm like, you are good. Like, I am nowhere near that, right? That we learned from one another. There was no teacher. There was just, what did they do, and why was I crying, and how do I, right? That's an amazing thing, how you can learn from each other. And just the community, the space, the like ritual of writing 2-3 poems a week with this idea of then embodying it. Like, something about that was beautiful to me, and I've never seen it in a book. And so I knew the first kernel for the Poet X was this young woman who is a fighter. Like, I knew her name. I knew it was going to be Xiomara, one who's ready for war, who discovers this ability, who discovers that she has so much to say, and it has to be said in this particular way, right? Like, in her body, memorized. And not even necessarily to, like, uplift the subculture, right? I think that came after the fact, but just to say, what does it mean to be a 15-year-old young woman and get on a stage in front of hundreds of strangers and like dare people to look away? Especially when you've been looked at your whole life, all of a sudden to say, you're gonna look at me for what I want you to look at me, and you're gonna hear me. And to me, that was what slam did. I could get on the stage and I have 3 minutes to say whatever I want, whether or not you like it. And when else as a young person was I given that stage?
And also, I thought what you really portrayed well is like, when you do the thing, like, you talk about it as a high, or the character talks about it as a high. And again, I think like we kind of, like, in adolescence or like in our early 20s, sometimes we like lose the things. I mean, if it's your profession, then it's different, but we can sometimes like lose that genuine, like, this is why I do it, because I have to keep doing it, you know? And I think, like, you can tell the first time she's on stage, just like, she's like, I can't do anything else. You know, exactly.
It becomes cool compulsive, I think. That feeling cool of connection. You know, they saw me and they heard me, and there's an adrenaline rush to this day. I mean, I've been performing over 15 years. I do 50 events a semester, so I'm doing about 100 events a year, like on stage performing poems, and there's still that moment afterwards of just like, and I did it, right? And they didn't leave. Most of them stayed.
They clapped.
And I said this thing that people nodded to, and that maybe they had never thought of the language for, and that's amazing. Like, I am not alone, but also they are not alone. Like, I feel seen, but also they know I saw them, and like that connection to me is amazing. And I try to get that first moment of like, she's like, I will never ever ever do this again, and then she finishes and she's like, how can I not?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, a thing you fear, but also leap into time and again.
Yeah. You and DMR have similarities. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right. It's not autobiographical.
Let's be clear. Don't want your mom coming for me. But both of you draw inspiration from hip hop.
Yes.
So what were some of your favorite artists growing up, and what are some of your favorite artists now?
I was a big Nas, Jay-Z. I love Eve.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the first women I heard like rap. When she did Love Is Blind, that's the first song I ever I Googled it. I like memorized the lyrics. This is back when first AOL. Like 30 minutes to download a thing. But I just thought, here's this strong woman who was a stripper. I mean, and she talks about this and owned her body and owned her story.
Yeah.
And I just thought she was fantastic. I was a big Tupac fan. I think for me it was always storytellers. I like punchline rappers now. I think I lean more into like cleverness and wittiness. But I think back then I sacrificed that cleverness for just a story, for something that felt like they were talking to me and about me. These days, I everyone knows this. If you follow me in any capacity, I'm a big fan of Cardi B. I think she's also someone who, to me, owns her story, whether right or wrong.
Exactly.
She's very sex positive. I really like No Name. I just listened to her last album, and I thought she was really, really strong, really fantastic. And also, I'm old school in a lot of ways. Like, I kind of just still listen to the same stuff.
When you wrote in the book, you were like, and the old school guys like Nas, I'm like, am I old?
Yeah, we are.
I'm sure you had looked out for the book because you're talking about a contemporary.
Because 8th graders are like, who's Nas?
Exactly. I was like, old school like Jay-Z. I'm like, Jay-Z.
And Ja Rule, old school loves
Ja Rule. I was like, what?
But I taught 8th grade, and 8th graders are still like, Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z is not a contemporary. No, I love hip hop.
That's why I was like, I'm reading about teenagers right now because I was like, Kendrick is like what's coming out right now.
Oh, I love Kendrick, J. Cole, Chance the Rapper. I think there's a lot of really good stuff coming out. Yeah.
Now we're gonna do rapid fire questions, which we have something called the Belletrist brief. So this is that essentially, but out loud. So what's your favorite indie bookstore ever?
Ever. I'm a big fan of East City Books in DC.
I know it.
Ever? And Word Up Bookstore in New York. Sorry, New York and DC. I gotta give them both shout outs. I don't want to get in trouble.
I guess we kind of just went over this, but what are some songs that you were listening to when you wrote this book? Or to inspire this book?
The playlist for this book is a lot of Beyonce, a lot of Rihanna, a lot of Nicki Minaj, a lot of J. Cole.
I love it so much. Yeah.
A podcast that you listen to? Do you listen to podcasts?
I do. I really like Verses. Okay. It's from the Poetry Foundation. It's the poet Denez Smith and the poet Franny Choi, and they bring like the most amazing contemporary poets of this time. But also, it's just them like giggling for having it's just them having fun with their homies. Yeah. And to come from the Poetry Foundation, which is like one of the most prestigious organizations in the country, and to have these two queer people of color like talk shit on a podcast for an hour like is amazing. And it brings me so much joy to feel like I'm getting a master class in craft and also like kicking it with my homies who are in my ear while I grocery shop. It's the best.
Do you have like 3 products that you use that you love to use? We always ask writers like, what are their
favorite things?
Okay. Like writing things or
no, just whatever. Like just face, like life things.
Face, life things like that you must have.
Okay.
Too much pressure?
It can be like your fragrance or like your foundation, your lipstick, but
Tell
also
us
be
what
the pen you use.
I was gonna say I'm gonna just
you're there.
I love Diva Curl's One Conditioner. I think it does great curl things. Shea Moisture has a coconut oil line. That just smells really good. So I have like the body gel and also the hair. Like it's just
Liz
that
loves
line.
Smells. Like let's be clear. She will sniff you.
I do. I was in the hallway like, you smell nice. Oh, you smell like soap. Like, that's also basic. It's not even like
soap.
You smell like rose water. You smell like soap. You shower.
Yeah.
And I love like just basic ass Olay like face cream. It just smells good. It does the job. I don't break out.
That's
just like real simple.
The Preiss?
CVS. Yeah. Just keep it simple.
Do you pencil or pen?
Pen. No pencil.
Do you have a pen that you love? I'm always so
I have to
curious
do
about
ballpoint. I can't do like super inky. I have really not great handwriting. My penmanship isn't great. If I take my time, it's really funky and kind of looks like I may have done graffiti at some point in my life.
Okay.
But if I rush, it's horrible.
Crazy.
And so pencil, it's just like schmler. So I need a pen that doesn't smear.
So Liz, I'm gonna have to put you on the spot because you love hip hop.
I do.
You are a poetry champion. So we just want you to just like give us a little taste.
Okay.
Of, something.
Okay. I'm gonna do like old school Liz.
Okay, that's
These are like my baby bars. I wanted to be
baby bars.
No, because seriously,
Hashtag baby bars.
Before I called myself a poet, I called myself a rapper.
Okay.
And so these are like my early like 14-year-old Liz.
Did you have a rap? Do you have a name?
Ooh.
Sorry.
On the spot. Okay, I was super geeky. So like don't nerd dumb, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So I used to love role-playing games. And there's this
RPG?
role-playing called Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And there was a character named Yuna, but her full name was Yuna Leska, and she was
Oh,
the summoner of souls.
yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's what I'm gonna do through hip-hop. I'm gonna summon up souls. So I called myself Lady Leska. But like, don't.
That's
amazing.
All right, lady, let's about to get on
No. This is just young Liz.
Young Liz.
I don't play Final Fantasy anymore, so I can't claim Leska. My rhymes are like nicotine. Bad for your health, but still addictive. I'm sick with it, no cure prescripted. Rhymes are original, never prescripted. But if I died tomorrow and God forbid it, you best believe no one could do it the way that Liz did. I'm not saying I'm nice, kid. Real MCs never say it. You are what you are. I was born a rap saying. Rap God. You know what I mean by rap saying? Like Dragon Ball Z, like a Super Saiyan. Rap God, bow down, for I break your knees. When y'all hear her speak, better hail the queen. A raptress like none thus seen. And I'm not Diana Ross, but I reign supreme. And I'm not Diana Ross, but I reign supreme. And I'm not Diana Ross, but I've been having sorrowful dreams of a world that broke my heart and did some cowardly things. The irony song that we all undoubtedly sing. I tell myself, little sister, smile, you're a powerful being, light wrapped in skin. God birthmarked you perfect. Don't hurt if it didn't work. It had no place in your purpose. Don't curse the name of love. Find it in yourself and disperse it. Write a song, learn it well, and make sure when you rehearse it, you dedicate it to you. It's cliched and faded, but true. Because when you make a joyous noise, you're emancipated from blues. You're elevated to do, to be, to live. Just because we love nakedly doesn't mean we were stripped. Just because they tried replacing doesn't mean that they did. And although they say we come from man, we hold all the stars in our ribs. So stop sleepwalking. Create dreams while you're awake. And remember, the gods don't ever make mistakes. And remember, the gods inside of us don't ever make mistakes.
Hey, amazing. Thank you.
Did you clap to that? What do you snap to that?
You snap to it.
That was cool.
Usually there's more than like four of us in a room.
Yeah, I know.
insane.
Or it doesn't even have to be a snap at the end. It's like if there's a line where you're just like, oh, yes.
Why don't you put out rap? That's so, I mean, if I just...
I'm waiting for J. Cole to call.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, yo, get on a verse.
We'll make that happen.
Oh, I don't know. I'm writing
Bars,
books. I'm writing
though.
books.
We have a signed copy of Poet X that we'll be giving away. So comment below. Tell us what you thought of the book. Tell us what you think of Liz. Tell us everything. Because why wouldn't you? Thank you. Thank you so much.
This
we
was
love you.
fun.
I know.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing as always.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.